Welcome to Money on Your Mind. I'm Belinda Fuchs, financial coach, CPA, and president of OwnYourMoney.com. At OwnYourMoney.com, we help people to get out of their own way and into profitable action to reclaim their financial power and rebuild their bank account. Our newest product, Invest in Yourself, the 7-day system to take control of your money, will help you start immediately to do just that and get into action to improve your financial situation. You can get more information on the CD program at ownyourmoneystore.com, and also details on our coachings, trainings, and where to watch past Money on Your Mind TV shows at Own Your Money. In essence, we help people own their money instead of feeling owned by their money. And we're so glad that you tuned in to today's Money on Your Mind show, because this topic is essential. It's understanding the soul of money. And we'd like to thank our sponsors for making this show possible today. We're pleased today to have Carol Dearborn here with us. Carol is the third generation of women painters in her family to use art as a force for healing, transformation, global unity, and peace. She is the president of the Sufficiency Foundation and is a shaman. She also leads call groups and is here today at the Global Sufficiency Summit and was leading a workshop called Power and Vision with Money. Thank you for being here today, Carol.
Thank you, Belinda. This is great.
And the whole idea of sufficiency when it comes to money is really such a new one in so many ways. It's like we've become such good consumers and not nearly as good investors in ourselves and in our communities. And I'd love to have you start by sharing with us, what is sufficiency?
I'd be happy to. Sufficiency is, in one word, a sense of enoughness. Not too much, not too little. It's that delicate point when you know that you are satisfied, when you can say that you're at peace, that everything is in equilibrium. You're not in a state of wanting or needing anything.
And given our economy, how are you finding that the message is being received? Is it found as very controversial? Or you find that it's
very interesting. People haven't, at first they don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
And they also have a sense of disbelief, that this could be possible. Particularly, I have to stress that we're talking about modern cultures. Modern cultures are the ones that experience a sense of not enoughness. In many parts of the world, people are quite happy with what they have, and they live in a self-sustaining way. But in modern cultures, we have this dependence on growth. Our economies, we feel that our whole monetary system is based on the need to grow and to incur debt. We've learned today at the conference.
Right. So are you finding that companies are kind of bashing against you, or are they really taking to this sort of an idea?
There is a deep hunger in people for this. People are really tired of striving. They want to know that they're okay just as they are, that they don't need to keep pushing for more and more of everything. And when we talk about things, we're not talking just about material things. We're talking about, physical stature or education, or, Lynne gave the example of hair or no hair, depending on what part of the body you're talking about. There's always this sense that we are not enough and we don't have enough.
And I think it's an important distinction that you're making too, because it's not just the stuff that we have, it also ends up being how we feel about ourselves. And just it's this sense of self-worth that gets constantly batted down almost when we feel like we're not enough, and then that's how we live our lives, and we keep using money, it seems, to fill a void that's really within ourselves. And the sufficiency concept seems to have started with Lynne and is very founded in the Soul of Money book. And can you share what she means by the great lie of scarcity?
Yes. Lynne was able to elucidate what the three parts of that lie are. There isn't enough, more is better, and that's just the way that it is. And I'd also like to say that Lynne was part of the foundation of our work. And another person, Les Traband, who died a few years ago, was the other part. And they both actually worked on the Hunger Project together. And so Les's work was to establish the Sufficiency Foundation on the premise that how we deal with our money, money being one of the greatest areas of scarcity that exists. You know, if people were to be questioned on, you know, what feels the tightest and the most frightening and the most scarce, most people would say money. Time would probably be the second one.
Mm-hmm.
And
which is part of why we have you on Money on Your Mind, right? Because
right.
money is so
That's
key
right.
to this whole concept.
And that was Les's premise, that if people can be taught to feel sufficiency in the area of money, that would cause it to infiltrate the rest of their lives. So that's the basis of our organization. We work with people to feel sufficiency around money, and also we work educationally with the call groups. So that's the mission of our organization, is to help people with specific practices that will engender sufficiency.
That's great. And when you say the organization, we're talking about the Sufficiency Foundation.
Correct.
Correct.
Yes.
And can you share a little bit more about what happens on those call groups and how you're able to have people feel more sufficient? Maybe give a tip or two to our viewers.
Absolutely. We believe that sufficiency really is something that starts with the individual, because we've been so conditioned to feel scarcity at such a deep level. And so, first of all, to find a group of people with whom one has the luxury of talking about sufficiency is a great thing. And then secondly, we have a weekly call. The call group structure starts with a weekly call of everybody, and then a buddy system. And so you talk to your buddy just during the day, and you know, at any point when it suits the two people, and they just discuss the areas of their life where they're feeling sufficient at that point, and the areas where they are feeling scarcity. And just to have somebody who can help you, sort of witness you on your journey of scarcity to sufficiency is a very powerful thing all by itself. And nobody has the answers. You know, nobody can define sufficiency for another. So I can't tell you what will cause you to feel enoughness in your life, but it's a very personal determination. And then we have exercises that we do together. For example, we sometimes read Lynne's book or Les's book, which is called Obtaining Your Financial Black Belt. And we'll go, you know, through the book and discuss things that people bring up. We also create visions of our lives in the future. And I led a workshop yesterday, which is something that I also do sometimes on the call group, and that is to talk about creating power and vision with money in our lives.
Can you give us an example? I'm sure it's hard to do a whole quick workshop in about a minute. So can you give us a summary maybe of the key takeaway from that workshop?
Yeah, we start with a disempowering idea that we often inherit from our families or our societies. In my case, it would be artists are poor. And so if I subscribe to that idea about the poverty of artists, that's going to determine the course of my career as an artist. So in order to transform that belief system, we need to create a new story for ourselves. And so my story about artists is that art is something that is of vital importance for everybody every day of their lives. And that therefore artists are very well recompensed for their incredibly valuable work.
I like that turnaround. That's great. And we can see some of Carol's beautiful artwork behind us as well. And you know, it's interesting. I work a lot with people and their money, and when we think about those belief systems, I definitely find that that's key to transforming that story to be able to create new belief systems for themselves.
That's right.
I call it our BS. You know, and we need to make sure we address that BS, or we don't ever move past it.
That's
and
right.
we think that the one of the toxic myths, I think, is so true. We think that's just the way it is, and then we've given up.
And we're stuck.
And we're stuck, and we believe that we have to stay stuck. You know, what I love about the idea of the vision and the power is really recognizing, well, what else could be out there for you, and being willing to claim it. You know, I named my company "Own Your Money." You know, with a sub-tagline of "Own Your Life." Because, you know, that's really what's possible for you. And I love that, that this is partly how you're living my dream, too, at the same time.